Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. Tonight, I, Ellen Nicholas Rathbone, sensuality consultant and sex educator, want to talk about something that is pretty common in today's society, and that is premature ejaculation. Now, it's a different definition for a lot of people. Like, is it premature if it's 10 minutes? Is it premature if it's 5 minutes? The point of what makes it premature is that the orgasm in itself gets away from the person who is ejaculating, and they have no control over when they are going to have their orgasm. So whether they have it in a minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, all depending on what kind of stimulation they're getting, is if they have no control when it's going to happen or when they want to release it, that's premature ejaculation. So, I mean, if you've been in there and out and doing all kinds of things, and it's an hour into it, and then you have your orgasm, certainly not premature, even if it comes fast. But the bottom line is there is little to no control in when the orgasm happens for the male. So now this is kind of a tricky thing, because in our society we are not taught anything about how to be a competent sexual lover. In fact, most of the information that is given out there is sort of detrimental and opposite to what people should know about their body and how people should view their body, is embrace it for its pleasure potential, as opposed to be ashamed of it and want to do things kind of secretively. All right. Now, there's a lot of people coming out doing secretive things to people they shouldn't be doing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about individuals in their own room by themselves masturbating. And there's nothing wrong with masturbating. But if you've taught yourself to masturbate quickly, then that's going to be the habit that you've set your body to do. And every time an opportunity comes for your body to have an orgasm, it's going to follow the same route. So if you've always allowed your body to have its orgasm very quickly, then you're going to have your orgasm very quickly. And you have to remember, it's a habit. It's a habit that you have taught your body, because after a certain amount of exertion or effort, there's a payoff, and the payoff is the orgasm. Now, orgasm in and of itself is a wonderful, beautiful, blessed event, actually. It's very, very good for you to have orgasm. But the longer or the more time that you put into having that orgasm, the more stupendous, intense, and phenomenal it will be. But if you have never had a prolonged efforts that where you allow the orgasm as opposed to it getting away from you, then you really don't know the difference between what your body has been doing and what your body can do. Because what it can do is a phenomenal experience. So how do we prevent premature ejaculation? Number one, we stop watching pornography, because pornography is actually detrimental to the male psyche. He's very visual. Men are very visual. So if they see the object, usually a vagina, tits, whatever it takes. Every guy is different in what he likes, but if they see it naked in front of them and they're young, a certain age, they are able to have an erection very quickly and, knock one off. Well, that's okay when you're by yourself. But what they're, again, reinforcing in their body is that as soon as they see the naked female or whatever parts that they like, then within a few minutes, they're having an orgasm. And you can't break that cycle just by willing it. This is it's something you set up in yourself, mind, vision, thought, reaction, boom, that's it. So, it's something that you have to be mindful of. And then here's the part where everyone's going to be like, what? It is a habit. And just like any habit, it can be changed. It can be broken. You can break the habit of cigarettes. You can break the habit of relationship. You can break any habit once you are mindful of what that habit is. An orgasm most definitely is a habit. So if you reteach yourself how to have an orgasm, through masturbation, of course, and there are several techniques out there, then you can actually learn how to hold back. And that is very, very beneficial for both partners, because for a male-female relationship, which is really where my expertise is, but I think in any relationship, no one wants to feel like they're just a hole for another person to pump one out. And if you're coming too fast, if you're in and out within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's what you're doing. And if you call yourself a lover, I'm here to tell you you're not a good lover. You're a crappy lover. You need to slow your roll. You need to remember that it's not just a hole. There's a person there. And if you actually consider yourself a decent lover, then the recipient of your erection should have plenty of stimulation of all kinds, mental and physical, before you ever go in. She should be very, very wet and very, very receptive and want you inside of her. And then after she's had her orgasm, because she can have a clitoral orgasm and you don't need to be inside for that, you know what I'm saying? Then, have your orgasm quickly if that's what you need to do. But if you want to take the bull by the horn and you really want to master this, it is a process. It doesn't take forever, but it most definitely takes consistency. And it teaches you by through masturbating slowly every single day for 5-10 minutes, and not allowing yourself to have an orgasm, feeling yourself having arousal, and just before you get to the point of no return, you bring yourself back. It is a phenomenal technique, and it definitely works. In the meantime, you might want to try some Pleasure Bomb. Pleasure Bomb is made by Kama Sutra. The idea of Kama Sutra products is that they are ancient, and this uses mint, which is a natural desensitizer. So it goes on the very tip of the penis, not in the urethra, but around the edge. You rub it in well, and we're talking teeny tiny bit because it's just going on the head. You wait a couple of minutes, 2 minutes is fine, and then you can have intercourse if you like, because most of the Pleasure Bomb has soaked into the skin within those 2 minutes. So remember, a very little bit, he's already erect, and wait 2 minutes. Those are key ingredients in making this work for you. You'll use it for a while, but I tell you right now, once you've had an orgasm that took some time and effort to build, it will be so much more explosive and satisfying than anything you've ever done in your life. Any other orgasm will pale next to what your body is capable of. And you are deserving of this kind of pleasure. You are deserving of having control over yourself and loving yourself. And in this culture, it does not lend itself to learning how to be a sensitive, caring lover. Everything about our bodies, everything that we're taught about our bodies and our sexual response is usually about the consequences of unprotected sex. It's never about the joy. It's never about the healing properties. It's never about self-acceptance. It's never about self-respect. And that's what it has to be. Because if you're ashamed of your sexuality, that's a problem. And that's the reason there's so much shit going down these days, because lots of people have been ashamed of their sexuality and now they're confused about it. And the only people that they seem to be comfortable around are people who are innocent and can do nothing to stop them. So that's another topic for another day. Today's topic is on premature ejaculation. For the people out there who want to know how to stop this and how to prevent it, if you have sons, teach them that when they masturbate, they should take their time and learn exactly how it feels to arouse themselves, where the warning is and where the point of no return is, so they can keep themselves in that first third of arousal where they have all the control in the world. It's a simple little technique that the youngins who are going to take matters into their own hands, whether you like it or not, need to know. It's just something that they need to know, because if they're ashamed of themselves, then they're not going to learn that, and they're going to perpetuate this sickness that's going on, where people find their satisfaction in just looking at other people, taking advantage of other people, hurting other people. It's not about relations anymore. So I hope that you found any and all of this an interesting conversation. I've been a sex educator for a long time. I've met thousands of women who have said to me that their husband has a problem with coming too fast. And a lot of these guys, actually, they took a survey and in this country, and out of 100 men, they asked them, do you consider yourself a good lover? And strangely enough, all of them thought they were a good lover. 50% of the men in this country have a problem with premature ejaculation. So that means 50% of the men in this country don't know they have a problem, because the women in their lives haven't told them. So I'd like to tell you that sexual pleasure is best when it is savored like a delicious meal. You don't want to wolf it down and get it over with. You want to enjoy it. You want to be there with your partner. You want to taste and smell and snuggle each other. And the more you do that, the closer you get, the more intimate you get, and the more the beautiful relationship can evolve. It's not just a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It is two people who actually care about one another, who are spending time having playtime, adult playtime. And that's the key. They both have to be adults, okay? Both have to be within 5, maybe 10 years of each other. No, 5 years of each other. 18 and above, absolutely, because that's when it's okay. People need to have respect for one another, and that's also part of not having a problem with premature ejaculation, because if you are with someone that you actually care about, you're going to want to give them your best, and your best is not going to take place if you don't know how to control yourself. So I don't see there's any questions, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Your Pleasure. I hope this has been an informative chat for you. And if you have found any benefit to this, please let your friends know about this station, because I am not allowed to advertise. And if you have any questions that you would like me to post or talk about on this show, you've got my email address right there below, ypi69@hotmail.com. If you are interested in Pleasure Bomb, let me know at that address, and I'll let you know how much it is to mail it to you wherever you are. Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for joining me. Namaste. Do your Kegels, men and women. Men to prevent premature ejaculation, and women to keep everything tight